Next page contains ahadith related to Surah Al-Fatiha. Surah Al-Fatiha is a unique surah. It is an essential part of Salah. Skipping Surah Al-Fatiha in any rakah will invalidate the Salah. It will void the Salah. Here we aim to give children a clear understanding of the essence of Surah Al-Fatiha, that if it is not recited in Salah, the Salah will not be accepted. Surah Al-Fatiha is also used for healing. If someone became ill, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would recite the Surah Al-Fatiha over them. This is a beautiful sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From this, we learn that if we ourselves are sick or if someone else is unwell, we can recite Surah Al-Fatiha for healing. And another hadith states that the Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu said that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting when he heard a loud sound. Jibreel alayhi salam informed him that it was a door from Jannah that had opened for the first time. An angel then descended and gave Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam two special gifts. Surah Al-Fatiha and the last two verses of Surah Al-Baqarah. The Surah Al-Fatiha is being mentioned here, and the last two verses of Surah Al-Baqarah are mentioned in the last chapter of this workbook. This hadith highlights the greatness of Surah Al-Fatiha and Surah Al-Baqarah, showing how beloved and important these surahs are. Lastly, when we recite Surah Al-Fatiha in Salah, it's like we are speaking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next page contains activities. The first activity is matching the words with the correct translation. The verses of Surah Al-Fatiha are given along with their translation, and the child has to match each translation with the correct verse. Activity number two introduces Zayan, a boy who loves playing football. One day while he was playing, he suddenly stopped and said that it was the time for Salah, so he went to pray. The coach was very inspired to see such a young child leaving the game to offer Salah, especially when the other children wanted to continue play. The coach asked Zayan why he was praying now when no one else was. He even suggested that Zayan could skip Salah just this once. Zayan smiled and replied, I ask Allah in Surah Al-Fatiha to guide me to the straight path, the path of good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps me to stay on the right path by reminding me to do what is right, like praying Salah on time. So the child has to write the answer of Zayan in the bubble. From this, we learn that when we recite Surah Al-Fatiha with understanding and consciously ask for guidance or hadayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens doors of goodness for us and makes even things easy. What may seem difficult for others becomes easier for us when we sincerely seek guidance. The next activity is about Fabia. It is mentioned that a girl named Fabia came home from school feeling unwell and had a fever. Her mother recited Surah Al-Fatiha over her, and she also took medicine. Soon she felt better. This shows the practical application of Surah Al-Fatiha, that when we are sick, we can recite it for healing while also taking my medicines. Inshallah, the child will recover. In this activity, there are fill in the blanks with a word bank. The child has to choose the correct words from the given word bank to complete the sentence. The next activity is very simple. Fabia felt better and said Alhamdulillah. The word Alhamdulillah is provided on the previous page, and the child has to paste that Alhamdulillah in this box. Then comes the contemplation stage. Which path over here? The question is, which path would you like to follow? The path of good people or the path of those who went astray or did wrong? This is meant to encourage children to think deeply and consciously. They should reflect on which path brings true benefit and which one they want to follow. Next, there is a simple maze game where two friends want to meet and the child helps them by solving the maze. After that, there is a coloring activity followed by a writing task. I pray Allah to guide me to the straight path. The purpose of this activity is to improve the child's handwriting while reinforcing the message. Then comes a tracing activity where the child traces Surah Al Fatiha written in Arabic. Finally, there is a self analysis section. What did you learn from the chapter 1? The child has to write the lesson they learned that concludes the first chapter on Surah Al Fatiha.